The pen has officially hit the paper, and the signing is official for this Philadelphia Phillies team as Guerschon Yabusele is coming over to America and joining the Sixers in the hopes that he will be the missing piece. This was the final touch on Daryl Morey's incredible offseason, in which he made a number of moves to build the best roster ever equipped in the Joel Embiid era. I want to talk about exactly what was announced from the team, the press release, the number he's wearing, and how this impacts the rotation as a whole. So let's get right into it. I want to start right off from the press release from the Sixers overall. They tweet out, Philadelphia, welcome Guerschon Yabusele, and did make the announcement that he will be wearing number 28 for the team, last worn by Andrew Lang in 1993. It's a little bit of a throwback there. I like that, a chance for him to make his own name. And as far as the press release as a whole, it writes out that Philadelphia 76ers president of basketball operations, Daryl Morey, announced today that the team has signed 2024 Olympic silver medalist Guerschon Yabusele. Per team policy, the terms of the deal are not disclosed, although we do know that to be a veteran's minimum at the NBA level there. And I talked in another video about the contractual aspects that went into that, about him getting out of his buyout with Real Madrid. But the press release continues on to say that Yabusele comes to Philadelphia after representing his home country, France, in an impressive Olympic campaign that culminated in winning a silver medal, appearing in each of Le Blues' 6 games. Yabusele averaged 14.0 points, second on the team behind Victor Wembanyama, and 3.3 rebounds, while shooting 51.9% from the field. Following the conclusion of the tournament, he was named to the All-Second team. Yabusele spent the last 3 seasons playing in Spain for Real Madrid, helping lead the team to 2 La Liga ACB championships in 2022 and 2024, and a European title in 2023. This past season, he played in 64 games with 35 starts across the ACB and European and EuroLeague, averaging 9.7 points on 53.1% from the field, 44.5% from 3, and 81.3% at the free throw line, and 4 rebounds per game. In addition to Real Madrid, Yabusele played in France for ASVL Basket. I'm not going to try with his next name, a bunch of other names there, as well as China, including the Shanghai Sharks. Shout out to them. Now, the point being here, and really the point of this video, I love this swing by Daryl Morey. This is much more than just digging out of the same pool where you're fishing and where you know who the veteran minimums are at this point. Now, granted, there is better options in that pool this year than I would think any season that I expected. Shout out to Lonnie Walker just going to the Boston Celtics, which is a bargain deal. The fact that he's getting an Exhibit 10 deal, not even a guaranteed contract to join the Celtics, I think is really telling of this CBA and the impact that it is having. But the bottom line is, got to focus on the Sixers, and this accomplishes 2 things. Number one, it was a point of need. That there was no doubt that there needs to be a little bit of power forward help on the Sixers team. When looking at the depth chart as a whole, that Caleb Martin's slated to be that starting power forward there. He's not a guy that we truly look at as a power forward-like skill set. And while I'm very excited about the things that Caleb Martin will bring to the Sixers team, I do think he's a gamer. I do think he's a guy who will have his big moments, who will be at his best when the lights are the brightest, as he has shown with the Miami Heat. I don't know if he's a guy that I feel great about being ready to gobble up rebounds or go up in sky with the, Giannis's of the world or Brook Lopez of the world. The Sixers need a guy like that, because as much as I love Joel Embiid and as much as the numbers are there, he's not a dude that I would consider skilled as a rebounder. Now, while Yabusele's numbers don't pop with that, from watching him in the Olympics, and as I mentioned in a previous video, France was very clearly the team that I watched the second most outside of Team USA. I do love watching Victor Wembanyama play, and I was impressed by him looking like he's put on a little bit of muscle as well. That dude is about to be a problem for the rest of the NBA if he isn't already. But it was Guerschon Yabusele that was constantly popping to my eyes, that I saw the impact that he made. I really saw his desire on the boards, his competitiveness. And when you think about why he flamed out of the NBA in the first hand, there's 2 real reasons here. Number one, the shooting was not there. Now he's shooting 44.5% from 3. We will see if that directly translates, but this isn't a guy that you need to be a knockdown laser shooter. If you're shooting 44% from 3, there is a borderline all-star position in the NBA for you if you can do that at a regular enough rate. But the Sixers are not asking for that. What you need is just command the respect of the defense. You can't be a Ben Simmons or PJ Tucker level of player where opponents aren't even afraid that you will shoot the ball, and I am confident that he has the stones and the ability to make sure that is not the case. Now, the other area where I think this is a great move by the Sixers is you are taking this upside swing. You are thinking outside the box, and this is a guy who checks the box from both the need from a team and the overall talent standpoint. That the ceiling for Guerschon Yabusele is so much higher than if you just rolled the dice with one of these veteran minimum guys, the players that have stuck around, the Udonis Haslams of the world, the DeAndre Jordans of the world, the players who know exactly who they are and are very, very clearly on the decline of their career. Yabusele very much has a chance to rewrite his entire NBA legacy, and very clearly wants that to be the case, that he is paying money out of his own pocket to even have a chance at coming back to America. That is a guy that I'm willing to bet on as a team as well. So shout out to Yabusele for coming to the Sixers, and for a little bit more clarity on the Sixers. And there's a couple quotes from Jake Fisher that I'd want to get into here. So this article written up on Liberty Baller says that Yahoo's Jake Fisher used Williams as his ideal comp for Yabusele. This is talking about Grant Williams here. And it says, asking NBA talent evaluators how the two bully forwards compare. Quote, at the beginning of the Olympics, people were like, Grant Williams is way better than that guy. But by the gold medal game, a lot of people, some NBA talent and evaluators, were saying that they'd take him over Grant Williams right now, which is pretty fascinating when you consider the fact that he signed for just the $2.1 million vet minimum with Philly. As always, you should check out the entire No Cap Space pod, which is where this is from. And it continues on to say, after his run in Paris, it was clear Yabusele was interested in another NBA opportunity. His contract with Real Madrid complicated the matter a bit with a $2.5 million NBA buyout. According to Fisher, Yabusele is still working with his soon-to-be former club on a solution, but folks around the Sixers felt that the signing him for the league minimum was, quote, too good of a deal to pass up on. It appears the Sixers view him as much more than a typical late August signing, 14th man. And the quote here says, is there a world where he's in the closing lineup in Philly for certain games if everything in the Olympics translate? I don't think that's so crazy, and that is a bargain of a steal for a guy who is the 14th roster spot here. Now, he did officially bid farewell to Real Madrid, making his announcement there, a nice little kind of message on Instagram and Twitter as well that he did tweet out, and some good vibes from Guerschon that he's sending right back there. But I do think this is a signing that is much more than a 14th man. That when factoring in this Sixers team, he's a guy that is a matchup issue for opponents, a guy that in certain lineups will be necessary to what the Sixers need from a skill set standpoint. And when looking down the roster, I think there's quite a few names that I very clearly could see him ironing out a role above. I mean, just to start right at the back, we know that Jeff Doughton Jr. is on a two-way contract. A couple of two-way guys, there's no doubt that Guerschon will get the first bite at the apple for. But even when thinking of these standard players, I like Yabusele's game a bit more than I like KJ Martin, and see the fit within the Sixers team very much clearer with Guerschon. A guy like Adem Bona, I don't expect to have the red carpet laid out. A rookie second-round pick, Ricky Council IV. I think Guerschon has the inside track and has the skill set that is more necessary on the Sixers team. Jared McCain, once again, Guerschon Yabusele is a player that I expect to get a more clear opportunity. Now, the real conversation is still the positions here. He is a guy that when you date back to his first NBA stint, that he was more of a traditional big man, that he very clearly has adapted his game to become more of a shooter. And the point that I want to harp home even more is he's very clearly taken his fitness more seriously, that he looks chiseled and muscular in a way he just straight up didn't in his first go around in the NBA. It was a little bit pudgy, a little more doughy, and you can see it in his game. There's an explosive pop that simply was not there when he was wearing a Boston Celtics jersey. And a quick side note here is I don't mind a guy on his redemption tour that the Boston Celtics are at the top of his list there. So shout out to Yabu for joining the Sixers team. I think this is a slam dunk signing for the Sixers, far above than what you typically get at this point in the offseason. And this is now back-to-back years where Daryl Morey has hit it out the park, with Kelly Oubre being a late signing last year on a veteran's minimum, and now Guerschon Yabusele being the next name. Now, we will see how this ultimately translates and what his role will be on the Sixers team, but I think this is a great move for the Sixers overall, a low-risk, high-reward player who I think is hungry, eager, and about to make a lot happen in a Sixers uniform. So let me know if you guys are with me in the comments, but I am very juiced up about this signing here. Shout out to Daryl Morey for putting the cherry on top of a terrific offseason, and shout out to you guys for tuning in the channel here. So make sure you're smashing that subscribe button, dropping a like on this video, and any comments you have below, and I'll be talking to you next time right here on Sixers Digest. Peace.